Yeah, fix the order. All right, let's call this meeting order, January 28, 2025, at 6 p.m. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please take the roll?
Councilmember Wood,
Here.
Councilmember Richardson,
Present.
Councilmember Crossman,
Here.
Councilmember King here, Councilmember Hess,
Here.
Councilmember Palmer,
Here.
Councilmember Kaminsky, Mayor DePinto.
Here. Can we get an agenda approval?
Move to approve.
Second by Councilmember Palmer. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. On agenda. First up, we have a special presentation, the election process by the Thurston County Auditor's Office. And we do have a few folks joining us online. We have Auditor Mary Hall from Thurston County, as well as Elections Manager from Pierce County. One more time, where did I go with his name? Mr. Powell Hawk, Election Supervisor, Pierce County. Sorry, I misplaced it. And then, do we have anyone else online? Is that it? Then in person, we have the Elections Manager for Thurston County, Tilly, as well as, could you introduce yourself, sir?
I'm Jamie Davis.
Thank you.
We're elections.
Thank you. And Tilly, I believe, are we gonna hear from the auditor first? Auditor Hall.
Well, good evening, and I'm sorry I'm not with you there in person or on screen. Thanks for allowing Thurston County Auditor's Elections Division to come and speak to you this evening. We look for every opportunity to promote our elections and encourage participation. So thank you very much. And I'm not sure if you were aware, but my elections office just broke ground on a long overdue expansion and refurbishment of our Thurston County Ballot Processing Center. For those of you that have been around a long time, we've been in that same footprint since 1985. So this is a much needed upgrade to our system. So to ensure that everything runs smoothly in this Yelm Community School District elections, we've entered into an interlocal agreement with Pierce County, who is fantastic, and they are going to actually mail and count the ballots for this election. Now, if people want replacement ballots, they can certainly come into our office. If they need assistance, they can call our office or Pierce County's office. And then, of course, we'll have our ballot drop boxes open in Yelm as well. So we have received a few calls of people saying, I've got a ballot from Pierce County, should I vote this? And yes, you want to vote the ballot from Pierce County. We will be reporting results on election night as well as Pierce County. But we've got about 20,000 voters that live in Thurston County in the Yelm Community School District, but we actually split that district with Pierce County. So historically, it's not uncommon for jurisdictions to help the other jurisdiction out when either they have no elections, just for efficiency's sake. So give you some information about the election. Military and overseas ballots have already gone out. They went out on the 10th, and the rest of the ballots went out on the 24th. And we did include a voter's pamphlet with those ballots. So you should probably already have your ballot. The drop boxes open for this election is Lacamas Elementary School, Nisqually Tribal Administration Building, Rainier City Hall, the Yelm School Administration Building, and then of course Roy City Hall, which is in Pierce County. So, and speaking to Superintendent Woods, a lot of times tradition is that people will come to our ballot processing center to get results on election night. And if people still want to do that, the only difference would be go across the parking lot. That's where our new voting center is. So we will be open until 8 o'clock for all voters. So I've got staff there if you have questions of them at the end of the meeting, or I'd be happy to take any questions that you may have right now.
Questions from the council? Thank you, Auditor Hall.
Thank you.
Tilly, did you want to add anything or?
I'm here for support.
Fair enough. All right, is there anything else, any other questions from council?
I have a question.
Here, Councilmember
The
Kaminsky.
last time I was, Mary, are you still there?
I'm still here.
The last time when I met you at the Law and Justice meeting, you were worried about the potential vandalism that could have occurred during the last election. You didn't see any of that, did you?
We did not see any of that in Thurston County. We're
Okay.
very grateful for that.
Thank you. Good.
Anything else? Councilor Crossman?
Just a comment, I'm surprised how many people don't realize that Yelm District covers Pierce County. Cause I grew up on the other side of the river in Pierce County, and so I was Yelm District. So, and I voted many years, as a Pierce County voter before I moved into city. And so, yeah, it's kind of odd to me. I'm like, well, man, it's a no-brainer. Pierce County does it okay, school district is in Pierce County. It covers a large area. And yeah, I'm just surprised at how many people don't realize how big the Yelm School District really is and what it encompasses. So this has been kind of just interesting though, this election round, that since Pierce County's taken over, that to see how many people don't really realize how big, school district really is.
Yeah,
Very good.
geographically, it's a huge school district.
Anything else? All right, thank you, Auditor Hall, and thank you for all the staff of Pierce County and Thurston County for attending. We will move on now to public comment. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to testify? Do we have anyone online?
We do not have any hands raised.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our consent agenda, January 14, 2025, regular meeting minutes. Councilor Hess.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Second by Councilor Kaminsky. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to new business. Under item A, we have amendment number 4 to the professional services agreement with Parametrics Incorporated for SR 507/Bald Hill Road Southeast Roundabout and Morris Road Southeast/Bald Hill Round intersection. Brad.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll keep this short and sweet. This is the amendment to the professional services agreement with Parametrics. This will be for final design, bid-ready plans, specs, and estimates for the construction of the 507 Bald Hill Roundabout and the Morris Road Bald Hill Roundabout. So everybody knows the background on this. This is all funded 100% by WashDOT. Right now, we have everything. The preliminary plans are vetted and ready to go. WashDOT has finally given us their seal of approval, and we can move forward with final design. So this agreement with Parametrics is a not to exceed amount of $1,206,048 for the final design. Does anybody have any questions?
Councilor Crossman.
I'd like to move to authorize Mayor DePinto to sign amendment number 4 to professional service agreement with Parametrics and not to exceed amount of $1,206,048.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Kaminsky. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Wood.
I'll allow.
Councilor Hess.
Question in reference to the 507 Bald Hill. Right by the Starbucks at that corner, there is that brick for Yelm. I've asked the question before and I said, wait for the design. Is that going to be have to be removed for that intersection?
We don't think so.
Okay.
It's really hard to tell until we actually get into design and start talking about right away and what we're gonna need for storm runoff. There's a lot of questions still up in the air. We have lots of room. We don't think we're gonna have to touch it, but that's still up in the air.
Councilor House, are you wanting to make sure we preserve that?
I would like to see us preserve it because it is something.
And that's exactly what we want as well.
Okay.
We'll do everything in our power to make that happen.
Appreciate that.
Questions, Councilor Wood?
I'm just curious, I'm sure that staff as well as the council knows my perspective on this, and I'm just curious, it seems like maybe I missed something, but did we just go ahead and decide that we were going with this particular plan? I thought that we were still in discussions on this.
There have been a lot of planning with WASDA and us, our folks. Brad, do you kind of want to talk to those decisions?
Yeah, I know, Tracy, that you were a fan of the five-legged idea. With that plan, it turns into a lot of right-of-way acquisition. And not only that, the roundabout doesn't function as well. So running that through traffic studies, it just doesn't work. And along with right-of-way, we would also have to relocate 2 homes.
Are you referring, pardon the interruption, are you referring to those along the I guess we'll call it the Mill Road spur?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't believe those houses are actually even on foundations. I know those were houses that were repurposed off of the Vale camp 100 years ago.
Right.
So I'm not feeling a lot of concern about that situation there, but what I question the accuracy of these studies if all the factors were inputted that may actually exist, or was it something that was this is what we put in here and this is what it shows, and effectively.
Happy to show you the graphic that you'd like to see.
I think I actually would like to, but because I guess I have seen the studies and I'm just failing to see where this situation, just common sense wise, doesn't hold water. It just doesn't seem like it. It seems like we're creating a whole lot of unnecessary congestion that was initially created by that intersection being changed to what it presently is, away from what it was prior. Because you're creating that whole other impact situation, as we've discussed over and over. And I'm not going to take up any more of the time, but it just seemed like there was a lot more opportunity to figure out a way to do this without going this route. And more than anything, I guess the response I felt I was getting was DOT wants us to go this way. And that was where I'm having an issue, is if DOT wants to go this way, that would have been great, but they handed the project off to us, is my understanding.
And really, no, and really it wasn't, we weren't getting that push from DOT. This is what the study showed was our best option.
Okay.
In that, and money is a big part of that, because if we go that route, there's a lot more acquisition that has to be done. Acquisition takes dollars.
Right, I understand that, but there's such a thing as spending money to avoid future problems, as well as as unforeseen congestion that I personally believe we're going to be creating.
Okay.
But if that's where the council's at, then like I said,
Crossman.
I would just to speak to that point, I go all over the place. I've gone through double roundabouts, and typically there's not an issue with traffic flow with having 2 roundabouts so close together to the ones that I've been through and about. I know they did pursue that 1 roundabout idea, and that was one of the top ideas, and it just didn't work, unfortunately, because I remember I was here when it was 5 corners. I remember how that road used to be, that intersection. So I'd have to relay to the experts. So like, okay, our traffic model show this. Okay, I have to trust that your math, and I hope your math is right.
Right. Right. And I don't know if the council has had an opportunity to experience the new roundabout on Trosper and the on-ramp there at Capitol Boulevard. And they literally, I think that there's 3 of them there, 3 roundabouts, and it is it's a little bit, it creates quite a bit of anxiety when you're going in there for the first couple of times, trying to figure out what's going on. And those were times where there wasn't a whole lot of traffic in there, so I just get concerned about the problem we potentially could be creating, but I have to concur with Councilmember Crossman that you guys got the numbers, but I would like to see them. I would like to sit down with you and look through those and maybe program in some other numbers just to, out of my own curiosity.
Any other further questions, comments? All right, so motion second. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. You got
This one.
All right, thank you, Brad. Thank you, council. Moving on to item B, ordinance number 1131, changes to the Yelm Municipal Code, chapter 6. Cody.
Hello, council. Before you is ordinance 1131, changes to Yelm Municipal Code. This is a very base level ordinance to kind of ban puppy, well, not kind of, just to ban puppy mills. And this is the puppy mills, as you see them on the side of the road, the unauthorized, unlicensed puppy mills where people are selling puppies and other animals in city limits. This would not ban licensed businesses from selling animals, authorized businesses from selling animals. It's just to ban this. This was brought to Public Services Committee a couple times. It was a bigger package of animal control changes. We just narrowed it down to this to get this section done because it's become a bigger issue every weekend. If you've driven by a certain area in Yelm, it's spreading. It's turned into almost like a swap meet for dogs. So this gives the police a little more enforcement power and the ability to go out and kind of fix this problem where it's at currently. Be happy to answer any questions about this.
We have Councilmember Crossman, as chair of the committee, speak to this.
I am just trying to use my words. What comments I want to say? Yeah, we talked about this today at committee. The two issues that I brought up, I really don't have much one way or the other sway on this strong opinion. But two things I brought up was number one, we already have laws against trespassing. So if somebody doesn't want to sell their people to sell their dogs or cats on their property, and I asked the question, could they just trespass them? And yes, they could. But unfortunately, a lot of these property owners don't live anywhere near here. Anywhere near Yelm, where a lot of this is taking place. And I was against the language of puppy mills. I don't think it's so much puppy mills as a lot of people they have pets, dogs have puppies, they sell on the side road. I remember it happening since I was a kid. I would never buy a dog from somebody like that, but people do. So yeah, so it's just a nuisance. They said it's coming more and more. I don't drive down the main road that much. I mean, y'all might. I take the back roads. I leave the main road for people driving through town, so I don't see it. So it's kind of hard for me to have a strong opinion on that. But that was the only issue that was really brought up about it. I think at committee, unless Joseph thinks something differently. Did we bring up anything else?
Councilor Hess had something first too. And then we can go. Councilor Hess, go ahead.
Director Colt, with the way you briefed it, I just want to clarify. My understanding was this was just for private property that's in public area, not necessarily a residence. In other words, if like a person with their home has a dog that they breed, they intentionally do that they're still able to sell. Did I misunderstand the writing?
No, if you look at the wording as you're correct, it literally bans in the areas of private property where there is like a right of way or a parking lot or some section. Yes, you're correct. It doesn't.
I just wanted to make sure because you said this would not affect businesses, but the private residents I wouldn't. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the way the code is written, you are correct.
Councilor Richardson, did you want to comment?
I've got nothing to add. I like Councilmember Hess's question, which clarifies a lot, and that's a good clarification on that part, which could give us more understanding. So I've got nothing to add to that.
Further discussion, Councilman Palmer?
Move to adopt ordinance number 1131, changes the Yelm Municipal Code, chapter 6.
Second.
Second by Councilor Hess. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Wood?
Just a clarification. So if somebody they have a dog that has puppies, and they want to sell them out of their home, this does not,
This code would not affect them, no.
thank you.
And you can also still give away animals. That wouldn't affect me. So.
Any further questions? All right, it's been motion second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, thanks, Cody. Thank you, council. Moving on to item number 7, old business. There's none scheduled. Moving on to item number 8, standing council committee reports, starting with Public Safety Committee.
Meetings next week.
Moving on to Public Services Committee.
Yeah, so we have Title 18 coming back to us. They are removing all the bicycle parking requirements of those code changes, but everything else should be the same. It will go to Planning Commission. And there is a Planning Commission on the 10th that is an open house. They're trying to encourage everybody to come out and see what they do, which I do highly encourage anybody who's involved with development, building codes, traffic, any concerns like that, they come out and see Planning Commission, because a lot of things we vote on goes through Planning Commission first. So it's on the 10th at 4 o'clock, 4 to 6, have open house, 4 o'clock, come in, they'll give you a little guidance, tour what they do, talk about that, and then get into their meeting. So Title 18 will come before them as well on that night, right? I believe.
Yeah, it'll come the same date, the 10th.
Yeah, so if you're interested in the Title 18 code changes, that big packet we have talked about a few times, it will be discussed at Planning Commission on that day.
And I believe study session too, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's also coming to study session, so you get lots more chances to look at
A
it.
lot of chance to take a look and comment. We talked about Road and Road, which is next in the line of major transportation projects, because we foresee that. We foresee that as being the main route into downtown Yelm when the bypass is built. So that's moving forward. The roundabouts, I had asked about we talked about them a little bit, the one we just voted on, as well as when they think all of them will be built. They're saying probably in 26. The bypass, the Walmart one, maybe not, but the other 3 foreseeably will be built in 26. So traffic will be locked upon in 26. So get yourself. And then coming before us here in the near future is a development package as well, another developer or that's currently in process. But one of the key issues that we will be brought before council, which is really interesting, is that we will hold them to the fire, so to speak, that they will build at least a partial of their commercial requirements before they build their apartment units that they want to build. So they have 6 units in total of commercial that will have to be built. Those are approximately about half-acre lots. But they will be required, and we will have to approve this requirement that 2 of them will have to be built before they can continue building on. So I think most of us were pretty in agreement that that's a good idea. That we're giving them, we're kind of holding them to what they said they're going to do. But we've had developments before that wasn't the case. So now we do. So that will be at a future council meeting here soon. And yeah, that's what I got.
Thank you. Moving on to Finance Committee.
No meeting.
All right, moving on to General Government Committee.
We just met very last hour. We're going through the mayor council protocol manual updates that the last time the entire manual went through a sweep like this was 2020. So it's tedious, but we're getting somewhere.
All righty, thank you. Moving on to Mayor City Minister staff reports. Todd.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, I just have a couple updates from the Police Department Emergency Management. Our comprehensive emergency management plan was approved by the state. We received a 90% score, which is fantastic. So that will come to you, I believe, in February for council approval on that, or recommended approval. Also from the police department, they made an offer to an entry-level officer. He accepted. He'll start February 1st, which is great news. And let's see, a longtime employee, John Edwards, announced his retirement from the city after
31 years.
31 years with the city. His last day with the city will be February 27th. And then we'll have something for him, a little retirement get together on the 26th at lunch down at the Public Services Building. And then the last is, every one of you seen this flyer that I put in front of you. I just wanted to put that there and let you know that all of you are invited to attend this. This is a speaker, Paul Butler, who speaks on leadership, leadership for a lifetime. He came last year and spoke to our management team. He was so good, we brought him back. And this year we're trying to invite anybody and everybody that works for the city and employed by the city or appointed by the city or elected by the city to be a part of it, because it really is a special speaker. And so it's a fantastic opportunity. He's hard to get. He'll be here from 10 to 2:30. He speaks for about 4 hours and he uses 2 pieces of paper in that 4 hours. So it's not a complicated thing to follow. He doesn't hand anything out. You're just listening to him. A half hour of that is lunch. It'll be at the community center. So if you'd like to attend, shoot myself an email, Kathy an email or something. We're just trying to do a head count for lunch is all. But if you can make it work, honestly, it'd be some of the best 4.5 hours you'll ever spend.
Good stuff.
That's all I got.
Kathy, did you want to talk anything about the council retreat? Or updates on that? Or any of this?
I would like to talk about parliamentary training. We have set that date for April 8th. 2 to 5. We'll at the community center. So I'm hoping everyone will have it on their calendars and be there. We will break at 5 and have a dinner break. Eat dinner at the community center, and then so we can be here and at 6 o'clock to start our meeting.
Thank you. For my report, I am working with Southeast Thurston. They reached out to me regarding ER services. Obviously, as most of you know, the Indigo is coming out here with an urgent care center. They've explained to me that they would like to go further eventually, but they want to see how this one goes and operates first for a little bit. These numbers that the fire department or fire authority had given me is it was fascinating to give to them because it basically tells you how many times they're going to the ER in Lacey and Olympia. And financially, that's important for, businesses that want to move out here and for their, at the end of the day, they're also a business. And so they make sure it works. And it was positive sounding. So I'm hoping that, maybe we can accelerate that process and get an emergency room out here as well. Obviously it'd be very small, but it would be hopefully able to meet the needs of this community and the surrounding areas. So cool on that. I had an EDC meeting where we discussed the FIFA World Cup. It's coming here next year and it's expected to bring about 750,000 people to the region. So it'll be good for our folks here, the hotel, businesses. I'm sure we'll get a boost. They are having something over in Olympia, Lacey, as far as like a stop, like an official stop for them. I think it's either like watch parties or playground parties where they can like play soccer and stuff like that, or football, if you will. But other than that, I had a South County's mayor's meeting and a meeting with Nate, the branch manager at TRL, getting updates from him and those conversations. And lastly, veterans meeting as well. We're starting those back up for quarterly meetings. And yeah, that's about it. Any questions on any of it? All right. Council reports, starting with Councilor Wood.
I have been to 0 meetings and I have no report.
All righty. Councilor Richardson.
I have no report. I just want to clarify that Tracy Woods did not say 5 corners.
Thank you. Councilor Crossman.
She was bad. For a question for Todd on the emergency management plan. Why didn't we get 100%?
If I remember right, last time we got 75% on our last 5-year plan. So I believe she said that even 75 was good. It's basically passing or no passing. So as far as why we didn't get the 100, I'm not positive. I'd have to ask Rob to see, or if she would even know. A lot of times they don't even
The chief did try to make it sound like it was a really high score, so I don't know the
Even
score.
75 was good.
Well, that's, I'm just kind of questioning you, we pay for a service, here's the rules, here's the service. Should be, I'm saying, fill out all the rules, okay, so that's why I'm like. Justify this for me of why you didn't get 100% because it's what we paid for it, here's what you have to meet. So what
Yeah, I don't know if it has to do with the size of our city and the fact that we just don't have the structure in place to ever get 100%. Just because I know there's certain things built into the plan that as the size of our city, we may just not have. They just don't exist. So
Okay,
if I remember right, and I wasn't here when she presented to you guys, so I was listening to it, but I know she did address the score last time, but I don't know exactly what she said as far as the relevance of what that score means to our passing. Maybe somebody else does.
I think Councilmember Hess has something to say on it.
If I remember correct, when she gave the briefing, probably why we didn't get 100% is we don't have the English as a second language interpreter in place. We don't have the public relations element that she talked about, and then the resource management. Those are three things that I remember are very key, big things that can happen. Otherwise, I mean, 90% is pretty darn good for our city. So, and so hopefully that answers the question.
Thank you, Brian.
Anything else, Councilmember Grossman?
nothing else we
All right,
talked about.
all right, Councilmember Kingheiser.
I attended yesterday, actually, a nonprofit collaboration meeting that actually our chief and our public services director actually spoke to the group about emergency management, and it was pretty neat to see those connections kind of happen. Also to be able to share and kind of hit on every natural disaster, which kind of gives you a little bit of panic when you think of what could happen, but I'm pretty impressed from that connection and that collaboration. What they presented was fantastic. That's all I have to report.
Councilmember Hess.
For intercity transit, it was just a standard meeting. They're still working on the negotiations with their drivers union. Also want to remind everybody for February 11th with the levy election, they didn't have a very large turnout the last time. In fact, past two times, and when they say not very large, it's barely made 30%. So really appreciate to see more of the voting people to put in their ballots. Just because if you think about it, that 30% was only 30% of registered voters, which who knows how many people are not registered. And it's that small little percentage is actually making it. And the ones that win the election, yes or no, are the ones that are making a decision. So it actually turns out to be almost 10% of the homeowners or whatever that are deciding for a whole community. In addition, nope, nothing else. All right, looking forward to just fun.
Sounds good. Councilmember Palmer.
EMS committee, pretty business as usual, but they are still trying to fill some Medic 1 positions. So if anybody's looking for a job, please feel free to apply.
All right. Councilmember Kaminsky.
Josh talked about the public services meeting we had today. I had Law and Justice last week, and the main thing we talked about was that they are developing a PAO dashboard, which is the Prosecuting Attorney's Office dashboard. And they're going to be showing all the history and current felony charges on that dashboard, along with a lot of other data about crime and all that stuff. So that's what they're working on. It's not up yet. And then the Squally River Council was interesting as always. It makes me sometimes laugh at when you have different factions, because we had this lady come on who was talking about making habitat of storm water ponds. And she went into big description about the salamanders and the frogs and the wetlands and the dry lands and the grasses and the this and that. And then the engineers that were in the group in the audience said, well, we do make these ponds for a reason and they're engineered a certain way. So he didn't really care about the wildlife, but she did. But I did learn something interesting, that little salamanders without the right environment will not turn into frogs. So nature's pretty smart. And other than that, the state of the salmon in the watershed overall are not doing well, with the exception of the massive chum run that we had this year.
Chum,
The chop chop.
running solid.
That's it.
All right, thank you very much. There's no executive session scheduled. Motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
For a second. All in favor, say aye, or any discussion, any favor, say aye.
Bye.
Any opposed, say nay. We're adjourned with 1 day. Let the record. It's turned off too. They're